The number one issue for young people is climate change. That is the issue that young people, we are worried about our mortgages and pensions and all that. But for young people today in the UK, it's about climate change.
We've done this in 5 European territories, thousands of interviews. It's the number one thing on people's minds after the pandemic.
We've got to bring hope and accessibility and practical ideas for what to do.
I don't think it's politically controversial now, and the overwhelming consensus is that, we as humanity are causing global warming.
And the question is, how do we show enough practical examples of where people can tackle that?
And the research is really clear. People want those solutions. They want to see movement, and they want to understand how to change their lives for the better.
There's two ways to do this on screen. There's the way which is very overt, where you are actually doing programs on climate change and you're communicating and trying to change people's views. I think equally important is the more subtle messaging. So for instance, Emmerdale has only used electric vehicles for the last 3 to 4 years. And that just subliminal message, which is electric is available, it's accessible, it's good, that is quite a powerful influence on consumer behaviour.
By committing to this and being conscious of how we do it, we all have audiences that are complementary, overlapping, and in some cases a bit different. So if we all commit to it, we reach different audiences with the same reinforcement of message.
These institutions around this panel are looked at around the world as leading edge. So when we meet our counterparts, sometimes we're a bit tough on this nation of ours, and the UK, but they look to Scotland and the UK and say, here, we need to learn from you. So we are a place where people come to learn best practice. This is a great chance to do it.
And I do think our influence on other companies, that systemic point, which is whoever we're working with, we can actually say, look, this is how we work, this is how we want to work with you. And if you want to be our partner, you need to come along with us.
You can very specifically look at the steps you need to take to try and get to under 1.5 degrees of warming over this century. I don't think any leader or any organisation shouldn't be using their power to contribute to that change. Simple as that.
In a couple of generations' time, when they look back on not just COVID, but what we're doing now, we're not going to be judged on whether we managed to hit our quarterly targets and our profit numbers, whether we actually stepped up and did the right thing for our people, but also for our businesses.
It starts with the fact that you've got people who are signing up to this agreement because we're parents, we're members of our society, we care about the future, and we're in a position to be able to influence it. And I think that's a really powerful thing.
And actually, all our people want it. So, all of us will do our surveys internally, and the groundswell of kind of internal support for this is massive.
This isn't pure altruism, it has to be said. This is also a commercial imperative for us, because if we don't do all the things we've just been discussing, we won't be relevant to our audiences, crucially to our people who expect, won't come and work for us if we are not talking about these things. Also for our shareholders, people often lament the commercial world, but I get a lot of questions from shareholders, I'm quite sure Caroline does too, about what we are doing around the environment, around our social purpose. That never used to be a question that came up in shareholder meetings, and now it is top 3 questions that come up from institutional shareholders.
We are seeing some progress, but the fact is it's too slow versus where the science is going. So you have to speed up. And this next period is now critical to see whether leaders at every level, internationally, globally, but also CEOs, can deliver on these net zero targets that they've all set.
The big thing that TV is good at is normalising things. At the moment, we have to intervene to make a change, and that's right and just. But hopefully, in a few years' time, this will be normal behaviour, and we won't have to prompt people to think about how to produce shows or report differently. It will just happen.